A very warm welcome to you. We are in Wuhan, in the province of Hubei, in central China, the river city. 10 million population, many in the city excited as we get into the knockout stages of the Dongfeng Citroën 2012 BWF Uber Cup inside this Wuhan Sports Center. And we're looking forward to this quarter-final clash between Germany and the hosts and favourites China. This is how it finished from the group stages. China 100% record after their wins over Indonesia and South Africa. The Indonesians came through as well. In Group B, Thailand and Chinese Taipei just about scraped through in their battle against the Netherlands. Korea and Germany, who we'll be seeing shortly, put paid to Australia's hopes. They've gone home. And in Group D, Japan winning that group, and Denmark coming through in second place, along with the USA in third. So this is what it meant for the seedings. China were number 1 seeds, Korea number 2. That means they could meet in the final as they did 2 years ago in Kuala Lumpur. Japan and Thailand were the next highest seeds, with Denmark, Indonesia, Chinese Taipei and Germany all knowing that they could meet China when the draw was made here in the Wuhan Sports Arena last night. But this is how it all came out. China against Germany, and Thailand v Denmark is going to be a cracking game. Chinese Taipei against Korea should be pretty even as well, with Indonesia and Japan. South Korea, Chinese Taipei, by the way, and Indonesia, Japan, they're being played tonight. Thailand, Denmark will be going on one of the adjacent courts here this afternoon. We've had some fast smashes last night. Very impressive, wasn't he? Fu Haifeng, and easily beat his previous effort when he hit one at 290. A couple of the Malaysians there in the top 5 hits as well. As for the women, well, no Chinese flag on there yet. That might change maybe later on this afternoon. Camilla Rutteul of Denmark leading the way for the Danes as far as hardest hits. But our focus is on this match. I'm Richard Kaufman, and a warm welcome then to this Uber Cup clash between China and Germany. We'll look forward to the matches here this afternoon in the company of Steen Petersen, former coach of Denmark, now involved in some capacity with the Great Britain setup ahead of the Olympics. Here's the lineup for this afternoon. Of course, it's the best of 5, so I think it's fair to say a fair chance we might not see the last 2 rubbers. Wang Yihan up against K.Schnaase in match 1. Wu and Wang, formidable women's doubles pair, up against Nelta and Hedrich. And then Wang Xin up against Carola Bott. Whether we see Zhao and Chan against Goloszewski and Schnaase, and Li Shuri against Fabienne Deprez, well, remains to be seen, because Steen, it's fair to say, it's a very strong Chinese lineup and a not very strong Germany lineup.
Yeah, exactly. China is at their best. In my opinion, the 3 best women's singles players at the moment in the world, and the 2 best doubles, number 1 and 2 in the rankings, and a German team without their 4 best players. So it's going to be a really tough task for the Germans. And I just spoke to the German coach, who in fact is a Dane, and he said they had to change their goals before this match. So now their goals is on game-specific targets. They want to stay on court as long as possible. They want to see if they can succeed with some of the issues that they've been working on in the practice and so on. So a German team that knows they're not going to be any threats to China in this team match.
Well, Wang Yihan is the first on court here, up against K.Schnaase. Of course, Germany do have some fine ladies' talent. Juliane Schenk, the world number 8. She has been rested for this tournament. I spoke last night with the team manager of Germany, Martin Kranitz. He said it was a joint decision between him and Juliana to rest her. There's some important club matches coming up in Germany, Bundesliga, semi-finals and finals. She's playing in Singapore and Indonesia before the Olympics. Something had to give, and the fact that some of her main teammates injured, Olga Konen with a knee injury, Birgit Michels with a foot injury, no Sandra Marinello either here, so that's a world ranking 26 world doubles pair that aren't here. In some respects it makes sense, but in terms of a contest, for us here this afternoon, it lessens the appeal.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see Juliane Schenk taking on Wang Yihan here on home court, but again, as you said, it's totally understandable that the travel overseas might be too much, and the players need a rest at some point during this Olympic year, and I think it's actually quite wise of the German team to have made this decision, because they have a good team. They're reigning European champions, but they would have had a very, very slim chance of getting a medal here. So
if everyone was fit, I think she would have come perhaps, but the fact that so many of her teammates were injured, as you say, that lessened the appeal of any medal hope anyway.
It made it a quite easy decision.
So this is who's on the court. Let's concentrate on who's here then, shall we? Got Wang Yihan on their side, and there is Karin Schnaase, 26 years of age, as you can see, ranked 58 in the world. Very impressive this week in her victory against Victoria Na yesterday. Disposed of her in just 26 minutes, 21-8, 21-10. A couple of semi-finals this year, Swedish international, Dutch international, but this is a level above. She's not playing Super Series events. She's not coming up against the opponents of Wang Yihan on a weekly or monthly or even a yearly basis, really. So this is a really new experience for her, up against a classy opponent like Wang Yihan.
Yeah, probably one of the great experiences in her career, together of course with winning the European gold, but this is something that she'll remember, playing China in front of a home crowd. And Jakob Høy, the German national coach, said that she was quite satisfied with her performance yesterday, showing that she was actually able to play with Ji Hyun-sung of Korea for about 40 minutes, giving her a run for the money before running out of steam.
Yeah, 21-18, 21-11, that scoreline. For Wang Yihan and for Chinese women's badminton, this is a huge week for them in so many respects. First of all, what happened 2 years ago in Kuala Lumpur, Wang Yihan, she lost her match in the singles against the Koreans, and then also when you consider there's 4 Chinese ladies in the top 4 of the world rankings, only 3 of them can go to the Olympics, and we saw yesterday from Wang Shixian that pressure may be telling in her singles match.
Represented by Karin Schnaase. Germany to serve.
Change of shuttle. Karin Schnaase here, being introduced by the umpire from Korea, Shon Hee-ju. Women's quarter-final of the Uber Cup underway. I think it's fair to say the expectations are this is going to be a very one-sided affair. Having said that, Karin Schnaase gets off to a fine start.
That should get an applause from the coaches.
It's really nothing to lose here for Schnaase. As Steen was saying in the build-up, the goal is really to try and stay on court as long as possible. Wang Yihan, bitter memory of the Uber Cup 2 years ago, losing the first singles match, giving South Korean opponents that morale opening point. And she really suffered a downturn in form after that 2010 Uber Cup. Didn't make an appearance at the Sudamin Cup. She wasn't picked for the Asian Games. I mean, at the Asian Games, she was world #1 and not picked. I mean, that has to hurt, but how she came back so strongly in 2011, won the World Championships, and I think that shows a lot about her mental aptitude.
And there's such tough competition within the Chinese ladies team.
How about this start from K.Schnaase?
It's a great start for Germany, and also a little bit worrying. Not particularly in this match, but it's not the way you want your player to come out playing the starting match.
Well, I talked about what happened 2 years ago, and she lost that opening point. And you know, there's a lot of pressure. Who will be playing who, and in which order when it comes to the first point one. That's just long, that flick serve, but you know, a lot of pressure on, you know, who play who. I mean, Wang Yihan's not in the starting lineup today after she lost the first set, first game, didn't she, in her singles match yesterday? And the Indonesian girl pulled out, didn't she, in the second game, so she didn't even have a chance to retrieve the situation. But it's pretty cutthroat, isn't it? And that adds to some pressure. And it's telling. I mean, you know, it's a pretty nervous start. I mean, credit to Schnaase, but it's a nervous start from Wang.
And we can see that Wang is moving the way we've been seeing all the other Chinese players moving this week so far. They've just been coming out steamrolling their opponents, but that's not the case here. She's a little hesitating in her movements.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. I'm saying yesterday within the Chinese, the women's doubles pair as well, they struggled as well. I sense there's a real tension within the Chinese ladies squad. Less so the men. They look supremely confident.
And sometimes from where we're sitting, we see the Chinese as the big favorites for this Uber Cup, and
that's brilliant.
What a great save.
That might get her going.
Yeah. But there's no doubt that it has taken its toll on the Chinese that they're not the reigning champions of this Uber Cup. So they really are out to prove a point now.
Permanent grief is the way it was described by Coach Longbow in the build-up to here. Permanent grief. I mean, there's a lot of redemption to be had this week, but sometimes it can weigh even too heavily on your shoulders. You want something too much. I know that sounds ridiculous, but she's awoken from her slumber, that's for sure here, Wang Yihan.
Also giving the selections for the Asia where she wasn't selected, Wang Yihan. I mean, even though she's done well, and in my opinion is the most solid and constant of the Chinese women's singles, she can't be entirely sure of going to the Olympics.
No. I mean, it would seem unbelievable that the woman that won in the arena where the Olympics is being staged 12 months later wouldn't be going. But it's a tough choice, isn't it, for the selectors? You know, you look at them, and you look at what they've got to choose from. It's not an easy choice. I mean, any one really has any likelihood of retiring before the next Olympics, really. And any one, in Wang Yihan's case here, has won a world title.
Call from Wang Yihan here.
She's definitely settled down now. She's had some real ups and downs in her career. She's been #1. I mean, she had a long run at #1. Won 7 titles in 2009. Then those problems post-Uber Cup. Then back again.
Here we have Wang Yihan.
We were just talking about before, weren't we? Spectator here this afternoon.
And not really able to do anything good for herself today. She just has to sort of hope for a not so good performance from one of the other.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird scenario, isn't it? That you know, you want your team to do well, and you want to be part of a winning Uber Cup team, but you also have your individual goals, which is of course to be in the Olympics.
A nice 3-1 victory with a loss to one of the ladies singles. That's probably what Wang Yihan is hoping for in her own mind. Probably not telling anyone, but it would be human if that was the case.
Sure, listen, I totally understand it. I'm sure if I was in her shoes, and of course never come close to anything like that, but I'd be thinking exactly the same. 9 of the last 10 points have been won by Wang Yihan here. And very much controlling now, and dampened K.Schnaase's early enthusiasm. So into the interval with an 11-4 lead and having won 10 points in a row. Fair to say supremacy is very much now grounded into this match.
Legendary Jiang Ning coaching Wang Yihan.
I mean, since she was dropped for the Asian Games, 21 tournaments, 14 finals, 10 titles. I think that's what you call a response, really, overall.
Yeah. She's really been racing her game.
Only one win this year, made 3 finals. That was the Malaysian Open. In her last match out, she lost in the Asian Badminton Championships to teammate Li Shuri, who I suppose is the in-form Chinese lady right now. She's on
Definitely.
down to be in match 5 against Fabienne Deprez, but I think we'll be a little surprised if we get to see her on court. Of course, unlike the group matches, not all 5 games are played, so if China do go 3-0 up, we will stop there. K.Schnaase gets a first point in 11.
Yeah, and that's another one of these rallies that goes in the coach's book with a plus on it.
What do you make of the draw as it stands then? With Japan number 2 seeds, but still a chance, isn't there, the way it is, that we could have that Korea-China rematch in the final?
Yeah, the lower draw is very very tight. Anything could actually happen. Chinese Taipei playing Korea. Slim chance. Korea quite a big favorite there, but all other 3 teams could, if they have a good run, we could see them in the final on Saturday. The Indonesians were extremely pleased with the draw yesterday when they saw that they had drawn Japan and avoiding China.
And what about the Danes? I mean, they're on court now against Thailand. What do they think of the draw? Obviously, they know that they have a chance if they win today to, I assume they think they're going to meet China in the semi-final tomorrow.
The Danes were pleased as well. The biggest chance of getting a medal is definitely playing Thailand. The men's team got an absolutely perfect draw. So, almost couldn't have been better. Great retrieval by K.Schnaase here. And even though she lost that rally, I think that also goes in with the plus for coach Jakob Høy.
Well, she was part of the 2008 Uber Cup side that produced Germany's best ever performance in this championship when they won bronze. And from the final of the European Championships, the Women's Team Championship that acted as the qualifiers for this Uber Cup, of course, Germany beat Denmark for the very first time, and K.Schnaase was the only member of today's starting lineup was actually part of that team.
Yeah, all the other 4 players, they're injured at the moment.
Or rested.
Yeah.
It's the case of Schenk.
And Schenk played a crucial role in that win. She lost her singles match against Tina Baum, but together with Birgit Michels, she won the second ladies doubles, and that was the crucial match, given that Germany easily took the two ladies singles, the second and the third ladies singles.
And the European Championships as well, Germany as a whole won a gold, couple of silvers and a bronze as well, men and women, and certainly a nation on the up in badminton terms. And she's trying to play her shots here, isn't she, Schnaase? Lovely little cross court there. Nice tight to the net, but she's getting the run around, isn't she? Dig it in, but again, lost a point, but a lot of positives to take from the rally.
Yeah, and she's playing the best I've seen her play, because the pace is so high, so that's what you often get from meeting opponents that are actually a bit better than yourself. That you can play freely and you get challenged and you got nothing to lose, so you're able to bring the best you got in you. Great shot here from Wang Yihan. A little deception, takes away split seconds of the German player's footwork. Some nice pictures here.
Well, a rare error from Wang Yihan.
She's hitting a really nice reverse slice from that backhand side, Schnaase.
Just overpowering her now.
A little bit too short from the German girl and immediately punished by Wang Yihan.
It's that quick thinking, isn't it? Knowing exactly when the right moment to pounce is pure. I mean, it's pretty instinctive, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's because they've practiced it so many times, so they are very, very good at recognizing the situations where the opportunities occur.
Well,
18.
11 points on the board for Schnaase, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but in some way, kind of a moral victory. She's got to 11 points.
Yeah, and it's also, yesterday we saw the Chinese men really whitewashing Indonesia, and we have to give a lot of credit to them, because it is difficult to play close to 100% of your game when you know you're going to win it.
Flat-footed for once there, Schnaase.
11.
Karin Bott will be on court later. I'm not sure about that hairstyle though.
It was Citroën van Dijk, men's singles coach, originally from the Netherlands.
Oh, those crazy Dutch. I wonder who's got the German wig on.
20 game points. 11.
So game points have arrived for Wang Yihan.
亲爱的观众朋友们，在比赛期间，为了保证运动员正常发挥水平，请您不要使用闪光灯拍照，感谢您的合作。观众朋友们，再次提醒您，请您不要使用闪光灯拍照，感谢您的合作。
20.
Trying to play that a little bit too close. Happened a couple of times for Wang Yihan.
Oh, excellent. Both players. Brilliant. That's going wide. Wow, what a point that was from Schnaase.
13. 20.
She's definitely playing at her highest level.
She has won in Hungary a couple of years ago, Schnaase. But yeah, this is excellent level of badminton she's playing here against the world number 2. Oh, and again.
Great shot.
14. 20.
That's your Dutchman there who's out with the hooter, if you wonder where that noise is coming. Your own Van Dijk, is that his name yet?
Citroën van Dijk, yeah.
Don't play. Okay.
Well, she saved a couple of match points, game points rather.
Play.
Lovely control of the net. Again. And you can see Wang Yihan's getting a little frustrated, isn't she? She thinks she's playing some winners and it's coming back. Look at that. From her knees.
That's some footwork that we've never seen before.
Thank you.
That's one thing you can always be sure about German athletes. They're always top fit. Absolutely brilliant condition.
Play.
good for her knees, isn't she?
It's so important for the younger girls playing later on in this team match that Schnaase gives this fighting performance here.
Well, the 24-year-old from Shanghai, Wang Yihan, does take the opening game, but it really was a fighting display from K.Schnaase. 21-15 in the end, the scoreline. She really couldn't have hoped for much more than that. In some respect, not a bad thing for Wang Yihan, is it really, that she's got an opponent at the other end that's, you know, pushing her like this in terms of what's to come in semis and final?
That's really nice for her. That she should be happy that she's getting good resistance. Of course, the coaches.
Schiebt den immer so rein, ne?
Genau, blocken.
Schräg rein.
Genau, und abends mal rüber. Aber extra höher machen. Ne? Und vor allen Dingen, du machst Tempo-Wechsel sehr gut. Mach immer so, aber so angekreuzt hier, bisschen mal höher. Das ist auch sehr, sehr gut. Ne? Aber manchmal deine Vorhand, Brustgrad.
Zu oft.
Zu oft, genau. Das ist gut, erst mal überrascht und danach muss es lang
Gerade.
Mitte, Kombination. Gerade, und dann wieder deine tolle Schläge.
Du sollst jetzt nicht die letzten 5 konzentriert haben.
Well, as you'd expect, I mean, they're giving her plenty of encouragement, aren't they? Telling her how well she's played there.
Hot 1, 20 seconds. Hot 1, 20
Anything else you picked up at all?
No, I'm not that strong in German. There was something about playing a little bit too many short strokes from the forehand side. But
well, there's the statistics. You can see Wang Yihan definitely dominating at the net. But apart from that, not much between them. I mean, she won 10 points in a row in that match, Wang Yihan, in that opening game. Still, Schnaase came away with 15.
sometimes in these matches, a player can actually discover that she's capable of competing at a higher level than she thought herself before this match.
Play. One love.
The Chinese coaches, they will be thinking ahead now. They will be thinking, tomorrow we're meeting either Thailand or Denmark, and in the final, hopefully Korea, so we can get a revenge. So, are we going to play Wang Yihan? Does her game look good enough, or do we see some weaknesses?
I suppose you've got to think who's going to be the #1 player. You know, Ratchanok and Baum, you know, likely to play in the opening singles for whichever country you meet tomorrow. What's her record like, head-to-head as well, with those respective players?
And should it be Denmark, there's a big possibility that it will be Wang Xin playing the first singles tomorrow and Wang Yihan giving a rest. Because Wang Xin has an amazing record against Tina, never lost to her. But also against Korea, you want to pick, let's assume that Korea reaches the final, you want to pick the strongest opener because you don't want to get behind 1-0.
As happened 2 years ago.
Sort of open the door for the Koreans. They have quite an excellent first ladies doubles as well.
Well, new game. Schnaase needs to start again.
Yeah, and a little bit more difficult because she was, of course, getting a lot of praise from the coaches, and now she has to go out and do the same one more time, and hopefully a little bit better even. that's really difficult.
Wide from Wang. First point on the board then in this second game for Schnaase.
Service over. Call 1.
Well, she played the opening game against Kerry Lee Harrington in their match against Australia. She only dropped 3 points in total, Wang Yihan. It's 17 points she has conceded here. Very strapped up, isn't she, on her right leg?
Yeah, noticed that as well.
Well, it's pretty common to see it up, but that's pretty heavy strapping, isn't it?
But then again, if she wasn't playing today, she would be practicing instead, and that would probably be even harder for her.
5-2. Service over. 3-5.
Wenn der Zeitpunkt gut genug ist.
It's got a little tighter again.
Great played. I must say I'm really impressed with the way Schnaase is playing. Being a great example for her younger teammates.
Service over. 6-5.
And she's not used to this either in terms of being first out and having to come up against, you know, in these team events, because Schenk obviously has been leader of that team for a little while.
And it's not so easy, but of course there's no expectations on her in this match. So that's one of the things that I think she's done really well. She's definitely raised her game, being the team leader, so to speak. Also the most experienced player in the German team present here in Wuhan.
Service over. 6-all.
That's wide. And Schnaase takes the lead in this second game.
I'm beginning to think that we don't get to see Wang Yihan playing tomorrow, no matter if it's Denmark or Thailand they're playing.
I mean, that's as harsh as it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just, she doesn't seem at her best, and for instance, like this should not happen. I mean, she's the #1 in the world. She should not make those easy mistakes.
That's right. I mean, we've got to give credit to Schnaase, but that last point there was nothing to do with the German girl. That was all about the mental.
And it's not like she's 6'1", firing smashes against Wang Yihan. So.
Over. 7, 8.
Well played. Very aggressive play here.
Karin.
Very clever play as well. Keeping her balance all the time during the rally.
That's wide again. Just missed the line this time from Schnaase.
What a rally.
Great. Absolutely super.
9, 10.
Giving these small goals that we discussed in the beginning that the German team had set would no doubt be pleasing if Karin Schnaase could take the lead here at the interval.
I think it's fair to say she's exceeded expectations really in this opening match. She's been on court 35 minutes.
It's even better than against Ji Hyun-sung from Korea, the girl she played yesterday.
Oh, brilliant recovery, only just wide.
And we saw that she tried exactly the same as 2 or 3 rallies before.
3号场地将进行油锅杯4分之1比赛第2场的比赛。泰国队黄皮布拉
Opening up with the smash and try to follow up on the front court.
We will have the second match of Uber Cup quarterfinals. Women's
Well,
singles.
Wang Yihan does go into the interval lead, but once again she's being made to really work hard for it. Credit to Karin Schnaase here, who's producing some of the badminton of her life.
这个还是给你快点打头线给打，那这么办？那你不快点对。
20 seconds.
Brilliant shot.
11-4.
Wunderbar, as they say. Well, you said it earlier on, but I think it's left in no doubt now that Wang Yihan is struggling to keep her place in the starting lineup now. She's struggling actually to chalk this off to love, isn't she, as well?
I think from her body language, she's trying to gear up a little bit now.
Schnaase is inspired there. Some wonderful shots here again. Look at that.
Well played. Excellent shot. And it is hard if you started out underestimating your opponent a little bit. And then
I just thought when she went on that run of 10 points in a row that was it now, you know.
and probably so did she. And now she has to work a little bit harder than she wanted to.
That's out again.
And the problem is that your opponent gets more and more confident and is fighting more and more instead of giving up.
I mean, let's give the perspective again. This is the world number 2 up against a player just inside the top 60 of the world, a player who never gets to play anyone of this caliber before, doesn't play Super Series events and the like, that normally wouldn't be Germany's number 1, but of course Juliana Schenk is in here along with a few others like Olga Kohn, and she would probably be number 2, would she, really? And here she is going toe to toe.
And actually Schnaase would be the 3rd women's singles player. You have also got Olga Kohn,
who won the national title, didn't she?
Yeah. Originally from Belarus, but now representing Germany.
She's been in a couple of countries, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Belarus.
I think she was in Poland as well.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. But another winner from Karin Schnaase, and I must say that's surprising that she's able to hit that many winners. And
well, she's matched her points tally already from the opening game.
Schnaase appealing to the umpire that Wang Yihan was
15.
moving too quickly on that service return. There's no doubt about it. Wang Yihan has geared up now.
Oh yeah, listen to the yell.
It would be important for Schnaase to keep the control, keep the initiative in the rallies, because I think there's been some weaknesses in the defense of Wang Yihan.
Second match of Thomas Cup quarterfinals, men's single, representing Russia, Ivan Sosanov, representing Denmark, Jorgensen.
Well played.
Another super rally. Looked like it might just drift wide, but
I think perhaps it was wide, but not wide enough.
yeah, right on the line.
A much closer game than we had expected.
Yeah, 15 points all now in this second game. Back in front again, Wang Yihan. My goodness, it's been a struggle.
Again, on a positive note from the German side, it's been because Wang Yihan has lifted her game. It's not that K.Schnaase has begun to take some bigger risks, so she's still playing well.
Excellent shot at the net. Well, as we said at the start of this second game, you know, it's not easy. She played really well first game, you know. Coach is telling her how well she's played. To follow that up was going to be really difficult for her. She's now bettered her score from the first game.
She's done it. She's played even better in the second game.
Karin.
Oh, she missed the chance there.
It was actually out of reach for Wang Yihan, so quite lucky for her that it was just wide.
Oh,
What a
brilliant
retrieval.
shot. Yeah, she's going to get the point, but still an excellent shot in there from K.Schnaase. But it's 18-16 now. This one here, brilliant. It's got the angle as well. Did well just to hit the shuttle.
Still like to play, challenging at the net. Wang Yihan might be coming into play tomorrow. Almost celebrated too early.
19.
I think Karin Schnaase thought that shot from Wang Yihan was in the net, but it actually went over. Luckily for her, also wide.
What a smile to her face. Well, it's taken a little while to come. 47 minutes on court, but they are match points for Wang Yihan.
This is also a good lesson or a sign to other non-Chinese players that if you are really fit and not afraid to run with the Chinese, you have a good chance.
What a fitting rally to end the match. Wang Yihan celebrates, but even in defeat, Karin Schnaase should be celebrating too. Superb performance from Germany's #1 here this week. Schnaase taking 32 points in the match. Wang Yihan coming away with the point for China, but she was made to fight there.
Next one by China, 21-15, 21-17.
Well, what a fabulous opening game. And a net point to end it all on. Then 21-17, and China 1, Germany 0.
Yeah, and of course credit to Wang Yihan for finishing it off on a day where she didn't really got her game going.
Yeah, it was a pretty tight affair.
Just getting some comments from Li Yongbo. Seemed quite satisfied, Yongbo.
So after that terrific opening women's singles match, it's over to the women's doubles. Wang Yihan putting the first point on the board for China.